Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the BEDSSU student elections. And these will be the results for the co-vice president roles for campus engagement and equality at BEDSSU. They are 2 of the 4 sabbatical officers who will be joining us from the summer for a whole year to work on behalf of students and take forward student concerns. Now, we've announced 2 of the results on Monday, and due to travel disruption today, we're having to present some of the results online. I'm sorry to those who are in Metro at the moment watching this. I'm sorry I can't be with you, but hopefully you're going to get the results just the same. Just I won't be there. I'm not that important anyway. I'm the one who just talks through the information and the data and tells you what the voters have said, but you're the ones who have done the hard work ultimately. So here we go. Without further ado, I'm going to move us into our presentation for today. So here we go. So this is the results for the 2 co-vice presidents of campus engagement and equality roles. We have 1 position for someone who identifies as a man or non-binary, and 1 for someone who self-identifies as a woman. So those 2 roles, just like the co-presidents, meant to promote gender equality and fairness in our students' union, and of course promote that within the university as well. So I'm going to move us along through the results because I know that everybody's really excited to receive these results, especially as there's been a bit of a delay with them. I will just remind you, though, of course, we had 14 candidates overall. There were nearly 2,000 votes cast, 1,908, and that is unique voters across all the positions. So well done, students, well done, candidates, well done, BEDSSU for bringing everyone together and seeing this vote happen. And of course, that was a 13.5% turnout, which is just wonderful. Well done. It's great to see so many students participating in student democracy at the union and making sure we are student-led from year to year. Another thank you I just want to give, I know we said this on Monday, but another thank you to our student jurors. Often a thankless task. Very, very difficult for student jurors. They're asked to make decisions about fairness, proportionality throughout the election across all the candidates and the activities of candidates, all of the voting across the whole democratic exercise. As I'll be explaining, there were some really tricky and challenging issues that came up this year. It's not easy on anybody. And I just want to say a really, really big thank you to the student jurors who've given up their time voluntarily. It's worth saying that the student jurors, their role are to receive complaints and concerns and issues around the election, oversee the fairness of the election as it proceeds, ensuring that candidates and voters and even stakeholders are working within the rules that have been set for the election. So their role is really, really important to having an accountable and fair democracy. So thank you very much to those student jurors. And perhaps you'll come back next year if you're still students, because you've done a fantastic job. With the results, I'm going to talk you through what you're going to see here today. Of course, some of you will have seen this on Monday. You're going to see that our elections are counted by campus. We do things a bit differently at BEDSSU, and that's to promote representation across our campuses and promote upvote engagement across student cohorts at different campuses too. Now, each campus is worth a number of points. We have 40 points altogether, and then we split those campuses, those 40 points in between the campuses, depending on the size of that campus. We also kind of disproportionately weight some of those campus points, because the key thing about this is that you can't win the election by just winning one campus. And we introduced this because we get a lot of our votes from Luton. And what we try and do is we try and rebalance things across all of our sites to ensure that there's a fair representation within the Students' Union that represents everybody. It also means, though, that it's a hard election to win. And it's worth saying that straight off the bat to all of the candidates, well done for engaging across such a large university. 15,000 students across seven sites. It's actually 9 sites within that. Of course, the winner at the end of this is the candidate with the most campus points. To gain a campus point on each campus election, we run what's called a single transferable vote election. What that means is that candidates are asked to vote by preference, and then a quota is set for somebody to have the highest preferential votes. Now, if somebody doesn't get the highest number of votes for an election, one of the candidates who's got the least votes is eliminated, and their second preferences are added to the other candidates still in the race. That's done to ensure that if you, as a voter, have voted and you want one candidate to win, but it's very clear that you're the only person who thinks that, and so you're going to lose your vote because your candidate isn't going to win. If the other candidates haven't won sufficient votes to make, a resounding victory, we reallocate your second preference so that you still have a say in who gets elected in each election. Now, after each campus, we add up all the campus points, and then the winner is the person with the most campus points at the end of the exercise. This is an example of what I'm going to talk you through. You'll see this big slide in front of you as we go through the results. If you have a look at the top, I need to see which side you're going to be on. So if you have the top left, you'll see that it says BEDSSU elections in purple, and then you'll have an example which says what election you're in, and the campus is down on the bottom left. And then on the right-hand side in the top right corner, you'll see the position and who it was open to. So that might say, for example, co-vice president for male and non-binary, or for females. That will tell you what position we're in. What about the rest of the information? So to win a campus point, you need to get sufficient votes. And those votes are worked out in terms of the number of campus points available divided by the number of valid votes received in the round. A valid vote is a vote for one of the candidates. It's a vote that hasn't been thrown out. So lots of people might have voted, but they might have spoilt their ballots. We don't count those. They still exist, but what they do is they're not part of the overall total. We still acknowledge them, and they're still a valid vote. You don't have to vote for a person, but they don't come in to this algorithm. Excuse me. So what you see here is it says the campus point threshold, and that says how many votes you need to get one campus point. Now, bear in mind that you need to exceed a threshold. So if one campus point is for 20 votes and you get 39 votes, you only get one campus point. You don't get two, because you need 40 points or above to get two. So we don't round up. Important about campus points is once you win them, you can't lose them. So if in one round you win a campus point, but you don't have enough votes to take all the points, and so you're eliminated in a secondary round, you keep your point. So don't worry about that. If you get eliminated, you still win points. Now, on the chart shown, there's a new box come up that says each line delineates the achievement of a campus point. So the numbers on the right-hand side, they're not the number of votes. That's the number of campus points. And we do this so you can clearly see how close one of a candidate may or may not be to achieving a campus point. Now, from the examples given, you can see that candidate C and candidate B have gone over the lines. Candidate C went over the line 1 and candidate B over the line 2, which means that each of them have exceeded the threshold for a campus point. Now, candidate A, candidate D, and Ron haven't exceeded number 1, and so they don't get a point. Now, these are all shown on the left-hand side of the screen in the purple box, which we're just highlighting right now. Now, this keeps track of the campus points won in each round. Now, I appreciate it's slightly confusing, but just remember that we have 7 sites, we have 2 elections, so we have 14 to go through. So trust me, you'll get it soon enough, because we're going to be going through it. You'll see it says points available. As I mentioned already, each campus gets a different amount of points. The highest number of points is afforded to Luton. It has as many as 15 points. Now, that's because Luton is by far and away the largest campus. There are more students who come here. The smallest campuses, Aylesbury and specialist sites, each have 2 campus points because it is proportional. However, it's not that proportional, because Aylesbury and the specialist sites probably have more points per student than the students at Luton. That's what the fair representation is all about. Now, when we go through, we'll have first rounds, and very often we'll have second rounds, and maybe sometimes even third rounds. And this is what it will look like. Now, what I've done is I've shown you where candidates might get eliminated. So here we've shown that candidates D and Ron, because they are they're in the minus, they've gone below. Basically, their votes have been taken away. They've been eliminated. And the purple you can see on candidate A and C is how the votes have been redistributed in accordance with their second preferences. Now, what's happened in this example is candidate C has now achieved the threshold for a second campus point. And so they're tied with candidate B. So that's how the reallocation works. And with hope, this will become clear to you as we go through. After each campus, we'll also show you the where we're up to, the tally so far for how many campus points each candidate has got. And it will look like this. There'll be a pie chart. You'll be able to see on the pie chart how many are unassigned. That basically says how many points are still to win. And then, excuse me, and then on the left of the pie chart, you'll see that the list of campus points are denoted next to the candidates. Okay. This is a good opportunity to remind you of the winners of our co-president elections. Our winners were Chidinma and Ryan. Congratulations again to Chidinma Akwada and Ryan Murphy, who will be our duly elected co-presidents starting in summer 2023, running for that academic year 23-24. Congratulations. I'm sure you're just as excited as all of us to hear who the other candidates are going to be, who your peers, your colleagues are going to be for the full of that year. So without further ado, we're going to move into the co-vice president self-identifying woman election. The candidates for this election were Mina Awal and reopened nominations. Unfortunately, Laura Callin was disqualified in this election. Please don't take too much into that. We do have rules in the election. Our student jury felt that one of the candidates, Laura, had conflicted the rules. There may be honest and genuine reasons behind that. So we do ask that no aspersions are made towards candidates who may be disqualified. But it is how the elections sometimes run, and disqualifications can happen if the rules aren't followed, and it's felt that that may sway the vote for other candidates. So unfortunately, Laura was disqualified in this election, and therefore there were only 2 candidates instead of 3 for this election, which is different to the ballot that students were presented with. So the candidates were Mina and Ron. Ron stands for Reopen Nominations. Reopen Nominations is a fictional candidate. They're not real. We use that as a term for students to be able to say, I don't want to vote for anyone. I'd rather you reopen the nominations, and you might have even thought, I want to have a go. So that's who Ron is. So let's get going. The first election we're going to come to is Birmingham. We're going to start there, and this will be a fairly straightforward election, you might think, or will it? Because Ron is a candidate after all, and as you've seen in the first round at Mina, for Birmingham, yes, Mina has got 17 votes, which brings her over 4 campus points. But Ron got a vote. Ron got 1 vote. So it shows that there is life in the old dog yet. That could be seen as quite offensive, but Ron is fictional, which is why I felt I could get away with that. So Ron can sometimes be had jokes to make about them. I hope that's okay. Sorry, Ron, if you exist somewhere in a different universe. Okay, so what we're seeing here is that there are 18 votes for this campus at Birmingham. The threshold for a single campus point was 3.6 votes. And as we can see on the left-hand side, it says that Mina in this election, in this round, has won 4 campus points. Now, as we only have 2 candidates, we can't eliminate any further. Now, what we do is we do a hypothetical elimination between the candidates to see what votes could be reallocated among the candidates. this by and large favours the leading candidate, and of course it has done in this instance. So here we go, you can see that the final campus point, the 5th campus point for Birmingham, has been awarded to Mina. Well done, Mina. You smashed Birmingham. And so here we go. Here's a pie chart showing you the results so far for the election. We have just one campus so far, 5 points, and they've all gone to Mina, but we still have lots of points to play for, Ron. You're not out of the game yet. And the next campus we're going to is Bedford, where there are 7 points available. There were 56 votes, and the threshold for one of the 7 points was 8 votes. So in the first round, Mina got 52 votes. Ron got as many as 4. Well done, Ron. But of course, Mina takes the bulk of the campus points, and as we found in the previous election, and this may become a theme, it may not. We won't know. Yes, Mina has taken that election and taken all of the 7 points there as well. Well done, Mina. And here we go. There's the pie chart showing you the results there. We have 12 campus points so far for Mina after 2 campuses gone. And the next campus we're going to is for Luton. Yes, that's the next campus. A whopping 15 points available here. So Ron may be able to claw some campus points back. We had a whopping 459 votes in this election, and we can see that 412 of them went to Mina. Ron got a really solid 47. Well done, Ron. It was enough to get you 1 campus point. Well done, Ron. You got a point on the board, but of course Mina has got 13. You can see the information of the election on the screen right now. Well done, Mina, for taking Luton. If we move forward just a little bit, we can see that as previously, Mina has taken the final points, so gets 14 campus points from that election. And we did all of this to make it quite straightforward, because it was fairly obvious. It would become fairly obvious to you all quite soon, because of course you can see that Mina has 26 campus points out of 40. And what does that mean? That means that Ron can't win anymore. So we have a winner. Congratulations, Mina Awal. You have won the election. You are duly elected as co-vice president, campus engagement and equality for 2023-24 at BEDS-SU. Congratulations, Mina. Fantastic stuff for you. I am going to go through the rest of the campuses. Don't you worry. But of course, we know you've won. It's clear, it's right in front of us. And so we may as well acknowledge it and say a really big well done to you. As a member of staff at the Students' Union, I really look forward to working with you. And I will say commiserations to Ron and to Laura for your campaigning and taking part in the election. Well done. I'm going to walk you through the other campuses quickly. So what we have here is the Milton Keynes campus. There were 3 points available at the Milton Keynes campus. As you can see, Mina got 21 of the... I think I've got that wrong. I've got the wrong information in front of me, but what I can tell you is that Mina took most of the votes. Ron did get a few. Well done, but not enough to get a campus point. And so Mina takes all the points from that election. London Bridge with a similar story. Of the 18 votes, Mina got 17, Ron got 1. Well done, Ron. You know, you're getting votes on the board, but Mina obviously takes it again, and as per the other campuses, gets that hypothetical extra elimination point to take all points from the campus. Of the 8 votes cast in Aylesbury, Mina took 6 of those votes, so of course met the threshold for both campus points as well. And if we move to the specialist sites of Emmerdale and Partridgebury and Arthur Meadows College, we see again that there were 3 votes here, just 3 votes, but 2 of those votes went to Mina, 1 to Ron, and as the leading candidate, Mina took both campus points from that election as well. And so here's the final results: a whopping 38 campus points for Mina, and a 2 for Ron. Getting on the board, it can always be tough when you're not a real person, to get campus points. So well done, Ron, too, and well done again to Mina. And of course, let's crown you again. Congratulations, Mina Awal, on your election win. So I'm now going to move us in to the co-vice president, self-identifying man and non-binary position, where we had 4 real candidates plus reopened nominations for this election. Now, of course, we started off with 5 candidates plus Ron on the ballot. The candidates were Abhishek, Collins, Harry, Izu, and reopened nominations. But of course, Trandafir was also on the ballot, but unfortunately, like we had in the previous election, was disqualified by the student jury, and that decision was upheld by the deputy returning officer, and then again by our independent returning officer at the National Union of Students as well. So as mentioned before, these can be very tricky situations and very sensitive and emotional for everyone involved, and it of course is regrettable. I do want to say a really big well done to Trandafir for running such a passionate election. I know that you'll be really disappointed with the decision. That's the way it goes sometimes. The rules are there, and it's a very hard job for the student jury to try and work within the rules for all the candidates and ensure fairness, and that is the principle that they have. There are no accusations against people who get disqualified. Quite often it is just rule breaking around the rules for one reason or another. So please don't hold things against candidates or make judgments about disqualifications. Quite often it's about procedural matters. So what we can say, though, is we do have the 5 candidates here. We don't have 6 anymore. So we have Abhishek, Collins, Harry, and Izu, with reopened nominations again as a candidate in this election. So the candidates will be looking at each campus, and we're going to start off with Bedford. So here we go. Let's get going. So at Bedford, we had 65 valid votes, and the threshold for votes was 9.29 votes. Collins took 20 votes and Izu 25 votes, so you both led the pack at Bedford initially, and Abhishek got on the board with 7 points. Ron even got 5 and Harry got 8. So you can see with the threshold for votes, 2 candidates, Collins and Izu, met the threshold for campus points, both meeting the threshold for 2 campus points each. So 4 campus points taken from Bedford, but 3 more to go, because there are 7 points you see up there on the left-hand side. It says points available 7. So we now move into a second round of voting, because not all of the campus points have been won at this election. 4 points won, 3 points to go. We must now eliminate candidates. Now, what we do is we take candidates with the lowest votes. If one candidate doesn't have sufficient, if one candidate is eliminated and their votes are spread across the remaining candidates for their second preferences, if that isn't sufficient for somebody to gain another campus point, we then eliminate a second candidate at the same time. So rather than going through 3, 4, 5, 6 stages of election, we instead eliminate multiple candidates at the same time. And unsurprisingly, you can see here, we do that here. Abhishek and reopened nominations are both eliminated at the same time. We see that Collins receives 3 votes, but not sufficient to gain an additional campus point. Izu receives 2 additional votes, but that is enough to exceed the threshold for an additional point. Harry, you didn't receive any additional votes in this round, and with the fewest votes and with 2 more campus points still to go, unfortunately, Harry, we went to a 3rd round and you were eliminated for the 3rd round of voting. So Harry was eliminated for the 3rd round. We saw 4 votes reallocated from Harry's votes. 2 went to Izu and 2 went to Collins, which means that Collins gains an additional campus points too, because as you can see from the chart, Collins exceeds the threshold for a 3rd point. Well done to both Collins and Izzy for taking the first points in this election, 3 points each. And here we go. I'm going to summarize these points for you. There we go. Oh, sorry, yeah, I miscounted. Three points each. Of course, we had a fourth. We had a fourth because there are 7. Sorry about that. So there was another campus point up for grabs, and so the leading candidate, as so often happens when we do this, takes the final point because the candidate with the fewest votes is initially eliminated. But we can't eliminate any further after 2 candidates, and so the final point is allocated to Izzy. So well done for winning the Bedford campus, Izzy, by getting 4 points there, and well done, Collins, for getting 3 on the board at the first campus. This is how it looks so far, but as you can see, still lots and lots of points to go. 1 campus out of 7 campus groups that we'll be visiting. So Izzy down there with 4 and Collins with 3. And next, we are at London Bridge, where there are 6 campus points available. We had 21 valid votes in this election. 6 of those votes went to Collins, 4 to Izzy, 4 to Harry, and 10 to Izzy, and 1 to Abhishek. Ron didn't get any votes. That with a vote threshold of 3.5, we did have campus points 1 in this round. As you can see, Collins won 1, Harry won 1, and Izzy won 2 campus points at London Bridge. Well done. Now there are 4 campus points that have been won by Collins, Harry, and Izzy so far. There are 6 available, 2 more. Therefore, we must eliminate candidates. And so for a following round, we eliminated Ron, of course. Ron doesn't have any votes, so we must eliminate Abhishek too. Abhishek only has 1 vote, which doesn't make a difference when we eliminate. So we also eliminate Harry. Sorry, Harry. So in the next round, we eliminate Harry, Abhishek, and Ron. Only 1 vote is reallocated, unfortunately. Not everybody allocates a preference in their votes, so they can't all be reallocated. So Harry had 4 votes, for example. Only 1 of those has been reallocated. So that vote has gone to Izzy. Now we now see that Izzy has won 3 points. Harry has won 1, obviously, from the previous round, and Collins has won 2. But there is so that's all 6 campus points that have been won from London Bridge. Obviously, Izzy was close to getting 4, but Collins just had enough votes there when the threshold was revised to get that additional point. So well done. All 6 campus points taken there. 3 to Izzy, 1 to Harry, and 2 to Collins. And when we add those up, 2 campuses gone so far. This is what it looks like. We have 7 points so far for Izzy. We have 1 for Harry, 5 for Collins, and Ron and Abhishek are still to get off the board, but lots to go. 2/3 of the campus points still yet to count up. The next campus we're going to is Birmingham. Here we go. There are 5 points available at Birmingham. And as you can see in the first round of voting, Collins got 14 of the 22 votes. Now the threshold for votes was 4.4 votes. Abhishek got 3 votes. Izzy got 2. Ron didn't get any, and Harry got 3. So actually, the only candidate, Collins, was the one to get campus points in that round and gets 3 campus points, 3 of the 5. So quite a commanding lead in the first round. As you can see, and no votes for Ron, so Ron will be eliminated in the next round. It's a very close call between the other candidates. So as we eliminate the candidates, we see that Abhishek receives more votes and gets gets on the board, gets a campus point in the second round. Well done, Abhishek. Collins gets 1 more vote, but doesn't reach a threshold for an additional campus point. However, there is still a campus point available, and we can't achieve that by reallocating from the existing votes that we have, and therefore we hypothetically reallocate and eliminate between the candidates, and as ever happens, the leading candidate has taken the final point. So well done to Collins for getting 4 campus points from Birmingham, and well done to Abhishek for getting a campus point as well. You can see how that stacks up. We're almost halfway. Collins is in the lead with 9 points so far, but very close to Collins is Izu with 7 points. We've got Harry and Abhishek on 1, and Ron still waiting to get a campus point. Lie in wait, Ron. Good luck. Okay, we're off to Milton Keynes, where there are 3 campus points available. There were 35 votes, and the threshold for one of the campus points was 11.67. Collins got 13 votes in the first round. Abhishek got 9, and then Harry and Izzo both got 6. Ron got a vote. Well done, Ron. Of course, not enough to get you a campus point. The only candidate who got a campus point in that round was Collins, but there were still 2 campus points to go, so we eliminated the lower scoring, the candidates with the lowest votes. We eliminated Harry, Izu, and Ron for the second round. In doing so, we saw Collins receive 6 votes and Abhishek received 3 votes, and Abhishek exceeded the quota for an additional vote, additional campus point, sorry. So well done, Abhishek, for getting a campus point. There was still 1 campus point remaining once all the votes had been reallocated. And so in a secondary reallocation, we see that Collins takes the final campus point. And so well done, Collins. That's 2 campus points for Collins and 1 for Abhishek out of the 3 available at Milton Keynes. Let's see how that looks. We're just over halfway, but there's a leading candidate in Collins. You've got 11, but there's still lots of campus points to go. Izu with 7, Abhishek with 2, and Harry with 1. And we're now at Aylesbury, so we're going to go through Aylesbury and specialist sites. Each of them have 2 campus points. At Aylesbury, we see that Harry gets 6 votes in the first round of voting and exceeds the threshold for a campus point. Well done, Harry. Only 1 campus point was won out of the 2, and so we need to eliminate candidates. We eliminate Ron, we eliminate Abhishek, and we eliminate Izu because they both got 1 vote each. When those votes are added up, no remaining candidate, neither Harry nor Collins, had sufficient votes to reach a second campus point. Now, with Harry being in the lead, unsurprisingly, Harry is then allocated the final campus point for Aylesbury. Well done, Harry. You take both points from the leading candidate so far. Collins has been in the lead, and so what does that do? That keeps Collins in at 11, I think it is. Yes. But Harry pulls away from the bottom with 3, and maybe it's time. You're climbing up, Harry. Let's see what it's like at the specialist sites. See, it can all change very quickly in this election. Okay, we're now at the specialist sites, and at specialist sites we see that we had only 3 votes. 2 of them went to Izzo and 1 to Collins. So Izzy gets a campus point. Collins doesn't, because the threshold was 1.5 votes. And so as is the case in the other elections, the final campus point goes to Izu. Now, how much does that mix things up? Well done, Izu, because actually it brings Izu into touching distance of Collins, having Collins taken an early lead. Still quite far ahead of Harry and Abhishek. Now, next we have Luton. It's the final campus. And of course, this means that we can still do this. This means that any candidate can still win. So here we go. Let's go into the final election. We see that in the final election, we had 990 votes at Luton. Collins gained 428 in the first round of voting. Abhishek 329. Izzy, you got 128 votes. Harry, you got 83. And Ron got 22. Well done, Ron. There are 15 points available. The threshold was 66 votes. Now, not all votes went in the first round, and all campus points were allocated in the first round. But we can see that Collins got the most campus points. Collins got 6 campus points. Abhishek got 4. Harry 1 and Izu 1. Well done. But because there were still campus points available, so we've got 12 campus points that have been reallocated, 3 to go. We then eliminated the candidates with the lowest votes. Now, we eliminated Harry and Ron in the second round of voting, and we saw that there were 10 votes added to Abhishek, and Abhishek got an additional point. There were 19 votes added to Izu. Izu got an additional campus point too. Well done. Collins got 21 votes, and that took Collins into getting an additional point as well. And so, of course, that means that Collins takes 7 campus points and brings Collins' total to 18. And as you can see here, Collins has taken quite a commanding lead. And of course, we have a winner. Congratulations to Collins McCaffrey. Well done. You are duly elected Co-Vice President, Campus Engagement and Equality at BEDSSU 2023-24. Commiserations to the other candidates. Well done. It was a really close race all the way up to the end there. Collins, you got 18 campus points, followed by Izu on 11, Abhishek on 7, Harry on 4. And it was so competitive, not even Ron could get on the board. Really well done, everybody. You've campaigned so hard. A lot of your work, a lot of your reach out to students has helped get students involved in the election overall. So congratulations to Collins. Again, as a member of staff, look forward to working with you next year. And just another really well done to all of the candidates who've taken part in the election, and commiserations to those who unfortunately haven't won this time. And maybe if you're students again next year, you can have another crack if you're up for it. So well done to Collins and Mina, who join as co-vice presidents. And you join as co-vice presidents to a team with Chidima and Ryan, a fantastic team ahead. So suffice to say, that's it from me in presenting the elections results. Well done to everybody involved, and we'll see you next year, and look forward to seeing the new officer team when they get in. There's work to do for the existing team so far, lots of issues raised, lots of energy brought, and there's still months ahead for the existing team to win on behalf of students. Well done to all the voters. See you again next year.